So my name is Linnea. I live in a small town on the Kenai Peninsula of Alaska. I go to a K-12 school where there's about 14 students, one teacher, and a teacher's aide. Since 7th grade, I've been taking classes over video conferencing, and so to date, I've been taking classes for 5 years, and I've taken about 19 classes at 7 different schools. I'm a pretty motivated student. I take pride in the grades that I earn and always look for opportunities to improve my education. And I've always enjoyed school, and growing up, it was almost like a second home with my dad as the teacher. The physical location I take my classes in is primarily at the school in my town. Recently, since COVID-19, I've been taking them at home, but most of the time it's at school. So when you're taking classes online, you have to be prepared like a teacher would be. You have to make sure that you have copies of handouts before class and any materials for activities. And you have to work with the teacher to find the best way to turn in assignments. When you're in the classroom physically, you can just put them in the turn-in folder and get handouts from the teacher. But when you're learning online, you really have to prepare yourself to be ready for class. So you have to be really a responsible student, and make yourself accountable. Both learning online and being in a physical classroom have their ups and downs. I enjoy going to my small school, but having the opportunities at a larger school are nice, like having multiple teachers and teachers that aren't relatives, and then having students that are your same age that you can become friends with is really nice. There's typically like a schedule for when my classes are, and so I'll create alarms on my phone. That way, like it's kind of like a bell schedule, except just for me. That way I can be ready for class on time and not be late. And then like when working on assignments online, I have folders for specific classes and school years. That way everything is organized online as well. Typically, when working on a group project, we'll find a platform that we can work on online together. So, for example, Google Apps. That way we can all work at the same time on the same project and see everyone's work. Some examples of group projects would be like a report or like a presentation that we all work to research on and then present in class. Sometimes when working at home, it's a little different with the rest of my family there as well. And so sometimes while in class, I've been interrupted. And so eventually I just found it really annoying and decided to make a sign that I was in the class and to please not disturb me. To handle distractions, I typically have a room designated to being in a call or a conference, and people will usually know that not to disturb me while I'm in the call. I try to engage in the class the way everyone else does, like asking questions and stuff like that. And then I try to develop friendships with students in my class and try to stay in contact with them outside of class. Over the years, I've had some classes with the same students in them, and over time I became really good friends with them and sometimes would hang out after school. Interactive projects really depend on how the teacher teaches it. So some classes I have a lot of group projects, and other classes I don't have as many. I really like having group projects because I get to meet more people in a smaller group rather than in the large class. But I also like some personal assignments. I communicate with my teachers primarily over email, but also in class I'll ask questions or clarify things on assignments. Some roadblocks, like getting a hold of teachers, can be difficult in attending class over video conferencing. It's just best to find a way that works for you and the teacher to communicate. So like at the beginning of the year, discussing with your teacher how best to communicate. I personally sometimes find it hard to speak up because not all classrooms are set up the best way for video conferencing. So sometimes the teacher can't see me very well as opposed to in other classes. And so I don't always feel comfortable just speaking up. That's why I like email so much. But occasionally in smaller classes, I will. Some study tips I would recommend would be taking notes, not just on material covered, but on examples for assignments or due dates, anything that you think is relevant to the class. And then having a way to keep track of your assignments and due dates. Recently, I've been keeping a list of what classes and assignments I plan to work on each day and what times my calls are, and it's really been helping me. Through taking classes utilizing video conferencing, I've not only learned how to use video conferencing platforms, but I've also learned how to hold myself accountable. And many times people have told me that knowing these skills, I'm one step ahead of everyone else.